What? Something went wrong and you're not able to go live? You got to be. Okay, and I do believe we are live again. Wonderful. Hold on. Let me get all everything together. Okay. I do believe we are live. Okay. So, can everybody see us and hear us? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Can we be seen? Yay, nay, maybe. Let's check. Let's see. We look good. We look good. We sound good. We're not pixelated. All right, we're good. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, if for anyone, everybody come, is everybody here? Did we lose some people? That's okay if we did. That's understandable. We can catch you on the replay. So, everybody, again, hello. It's Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Today is a great episode. It's going to be a great episode of the social media scene. I am Alice Fuller, principal consultant at Sheer Social. That is a social media marketing training and consulting business. And I'm going to allow my co-host to introduce herself because she can do it better than I can. Go ahead.
Thank you. Once again, we are back. The charm technology can and will fail you, and you roll with the punches. Tatachi Edwu. I am a media professor, a media maker, a filmmaker. How about I just love all things media? So happy to be here this Friday. This is an exciting week. Social media, wouldn't you say?
Ooh, indeed. There has been a lot going on in social media today. Oh, because everybody has been buzzing about what's happening with Instagram. You got some stuff popping with LinkedIn. Then, of course, today is the official opening of the 2016 Olympics. So we're going to open our show. You stupid. We're okay. Yeah. Well, we'll be taking intern applications after the show. But as of right now, we're going to really focus on telling you where you can watch the Olympics as far as social media because almost every platform is doing something a little special so that you can engage with the content, you can engage with athletes, and especially, if we're real about it, the brands and the sponsors. You can't leave them out. And so we're going to start today talking about which channel we think may be the best one to get all your Olympic highlights. Although I don't know if I can pick just one, but we'll see. All right. So we're going to start off with, since we're talking about Snapchat, let's just go ahead and slide right into the DM.
I have to interrupt you.
Yes.
I'm frozen on.
Again.
Yes, you're good, but I'm frozen.
Okay. That.
You're saying, and I'm looking, and it's true.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. This is.
I mean, and we look good on here.
Yeah, we do, but that's a problem. You know what? Here's what I can do. I can.
And they said the volume is lower than usual.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, how's the volume now? How's the volume now?
I can see.
How's the volume? Now, as far as something is really
Maya said it's going in and out.
It's going in and out.
And you can't hear me at all.
Can't hear you at all.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's because you're Well, I guess that's because you're frozen too.
Right.
This is bad business. What is going on? You know what? It could be. Let me see what's going on the back end of Facebook. Because if something is amiss. I mean, I got a lot of things operating here, but something is going cray with these platforms, and I don't understand what it could be.
John, type a message. Can you hear me?
What could be the problem? Okay, here's what we'll do.
Okay,
Here's what I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take you out for momentarily.
take me out.
Take you out momentarily. So don't. Okay.
I'm
So
not going anywhere.
okay. And then we will hopefully bring you right back. Uh. Okay. Hold on. No, I want to do this. Okay. So. All right. So then we're gonna bring Tati right back in just a second. Hold on.
And they said my volume is low.
Okay.
If I go out and come back in, will that mess it up?
I don't think so.
All right, so let me call you back, huh?
Stay. Uh huh. I don't even know what people are seeing right now.
Right now, they see the Skype screen, and I'm at the top.
Okay. So
See
this,
it? Are you
yeah.
looking?
So this is behind this is behind the scenes as it gets. Okay. So, but you can be seen. So you're moving.
Yeah, I'm moving.
All right. So, we'll keep that. We'll keep that right there, and then we will try again with now your sound. What are they saying about your sound?
Guys, tell me, how is the sound? Okay, so Don says it looks fine now. How is the sound, guys? There's a little bit of,
A delay.
yeah, that's good. Muffled. Ray says my sound is muffled.
Okay. Let's see what else I can do here to. Oops. See what else I can do. This is man.
This has never happened before.
No, but we're only in show 5, so hey, stuff happens.
Okay, so Ray says you're not having a volume problem. Okay, Donovan says you can hear me, but it's lower in comparison. So it's that same comparison thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on.
Oh, remember how we fixed that before?
Yeah, those settings haven't been changed though.
Okay.
Bu- 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 bu. Why is every damn body call? I can't talk to you right now.
So put the phone on silent.
I just can't talk to you right now. Okay, so. All right, so we got that, and you're still relatively low compared to me.
Guys, okay, if I speak like this, how does it sound? Is it still really low or?
Yeah, and how close are you to your mic?
I'm on my mic.
You're on your mic?
Yeah, nothing has changed. Ray said, okay, now everyone is frozen.
Really?
Donovan, no, now we're back. Donovan blames it on Trump.
Okay.
He said, yeah, it's low, but they can hear me.
Okay. I got to figure that I don't know what else to do at this point. So, here's what I really don't. I don't know what to do at this. Oh, I've got everything as high as I can put it.
Okay, it's just.
You know what? Let me try one more thing.
Okay.
But I think all that's going to do is make me still louder and you. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna power through? Should we power through?
Let's just try and power through. And guys, let us know if it gets to be too.
If it's too bad, we'll shut it down. Have not a problem.
Not a problem.
So we'll let the audience choose. Audience, what do you want to do? You want us to shut it down, or you want us to keep going? What's the audience say?
It takes a minute for them to. Hold on. So, audience, do you want us to keep going, or
Yeah, you want us to keep going, or you want us to shut it down?
Donovan says, keep it, I say, and he also attributes the problems to Pokemon in my mic. So,
all right, so we'll keep going. All right, so what we're aiming to do again today is we are going to be discussing social media and the 2016 Olympics. And today we're going to go through almost every platform, pretty much, yeah, almost every platform, and tell you what they're serving up as far as Olympic coverage. Snapchat, since that's pretty much on everybody's mind to a degree because of what's happening with Instagram. Snapchat is having a dedicated channel. That's not so unusual, especially for major events. So outside of having a major channel, we're thinking, now I haven't seen this confirmed yet, we're thinking that they're probably going to do special filters. They're probably going to do special lenses, maybe give you a gold medal around your neck or something. I don't know. We looked, we didn't see anything about any specialized lenses or filters yesterday. And we're thinking if they're going to do it, they may just launch it today. And they just didn't put out, the press release or the blog post or whatever it is they usually do. So wait on it. But as of right now, there is a dedicated channel for it. So that you can look forward to.
Absolutely. And there are just so many different things that are going on with it. Did you want to start with... are we done with Snapchat?
Yeah, because Snapchat isn't doing from both our research. Snapchat has a dedicated channel, and we were looking for like a special lens, a special filter. We didn't see any word of that as of yet.
But this is what is happening.
Okay, go ahead.
Something just came through.
Oh, we got breaking news.
Well, no, it's not necessarily breaking news, but I'm guessing this is going to be a trend as well. So Vogue magazine is swapping their Snapchat account. They're doing a snap swap with Isa Goulart, who is the Olympic ambassador for Brazil. So she's going to be carrying the torch in the opening ceremonies in Rio. And so they're switching. So you're going to get a bird's eye view of her carrying the torch on Vogue's Snapchat channel. So I'm guessing this is going to start to be a trend, and you're going to see some snap swaps with athletes, with officials, with people that are connected with the Olympics with some other accounts so that we can get a bird's eye view. But how cool is that? We're going to be able to see an athlete carry the torch, the ambassador carry the torch in Rio. That's pretty cool. So that just happened.
From Vogue?
Now, from Vogue magazine. Yep, from Vogue.
There's no fashion. There's no fashion tie or anything to it.
I don't know. Maybe Isa Goulart just has great style. I don't know, but they find a way to put a fashion spin on it.
That's what I'm.
But Vogue is not just fashion. If you've ever picked up the magazine, it is heavily fashion, but they also have articles related to women and other things. So it's not solely fashion.
Okay.
But, they're going to put a spin on it. But that's pretty interesting. I think we're going to see more of that.
Okay. So moving to the next one, Periscope will also have a featured channel. And I'm assuming, once again, they haven't put out any major news about what exactly they're going to do outside of having this featured channel. But for those of you who are Periscopers, generally when there's a dedicated or featured channel, they may be using one person or an influencer. Maybe they got a little Twitter money. They may have sent somebody to Rio, for all we know, to cover. And so that could be the featured channel. Or maybe they partnered with somebody and made their channel the featured channel. So we don't know. But we do know on Periscope there will be a featured channel dedicated to the Olympics. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, for those of you who are still on Vine, yeah, don't bump. Okay.
Stop the shade.
Oh, no. I'm not. There might be somebody on Vine. Vine was so hot for me. It's funny how things.
It was everything.
It's funny how things change and evolve. Because for a minute, Vine was the hotness. everybody was talking about Vine, like everybody was talking about Snapchat. And then, I'm not saying it's crickets. I'm just saying it got a little quiet. Just as most things will do. You know, things kind of level off. So as far as Vine is concerned, if you're following the Olympic Vine channel, you double click on the content, and instead of getting the little hearts, I think you're supposed to get like a flame.
Yes.
That should be interesting. Okay. All right. Then, okay, we went through now YouTube, one of my personal favorites, because hands down, the reality of it for I think a lot of us, we may watch it live on TV, or we may watch, you know, some live stuff here on Facebook and or Twitter. But I guarantee you, when those replays, you know, a week from now, a couple of days from now, we're going to head to YouTube to watch that race, that phenomenal race that hopefully the Americans won all the gold medals.
Oh, do something for some other folks.
It ain't our fault. It ain't our. I mean,
that's a whole other conversation.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, YouTube is doing something a little special. One, they're partnering with at least, was it 60 broadcast stations, broadcast networks, to ensure that you get the hottest highlights, to ensure you get the pretty much, now I don't want to say 24/7, but I will say when it comes down to commentary, when it comes down to highlights, these 60 stations, or networks is a better way to put it, have partnered, and that they're not just American. We're talking about global networks here, people. Have partnered with YouTube to ensure that you get those highlights. But here's what's cool too. One of the other things YouTube is quite intuitive about. They already know that as things are happening, as medals are being won, as races are being lost, and as people, do things good and or bad, the first thing you're going to do when you get the news is what? Search. Mm-hmm. You're going to hit Google and start searching names, start searching events. So Google is making sure that these highlights that are coming in from the various broadcast networks are going to already hit Google quick, fast, and in a hurry. So you don't have to search you don't have to search page 3, page 5. Who searches that far anyway? I do, because I'm a nerd. But most people don't get past page 1, page 2.
Correct.
So for that, YouTube is hooking everything up so that not only will they bring you the content, but they're going to make it very searchable. I'm like, well, that Google, you can't mess with Google, Facebook.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. YouTube is Google, so of course things are going to be optimized when it comes to search, because that's Google. I mean, what else is there to say? Yeah, and 15 YouTube stars. Now here's the thing we were trying to find out last. We were trying to be nosy. YouTube has hired 15 YouTube stars to cover the Olympics. Now, we were looking for, there might be some diversity in that coverage. We didn't see any signs of it, but that does not mean it's not there. It's not what we're saying. So, just if you're thinking of going over to YouTube, there'll be dedicated channel, as well as different broadcast networks, and you can always just hit Google, search, and get whatever it is you want. Yeah. I mean, it's not surprising. I'll say that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if I were Google, I would do that too, because the reality of it is, you still don't search for as many things on Facebook than you do Google. Somebody might argue me down about that, but
Facebook is trying to change that.
Yeah, they are. They're trying hard to change it.
They're trying to change that with things like their instant articles, and they're trying to really encourage publishers and things to publish their stuff to Facebook, so that there's that kind of, they're encouraging that. So now they're trying to also become a search engine, it seems. So they're trying to change that, but they're not at that point where they can compete with Google in that arena.
Nope. Okay, so moving on to, since we brought up Facebook, let's just go ahead and knock that out.
Well, there is one more thing.
Go ahead.
About Rio that you might or may not be happy about. I know at this point some people are like, Pokemon Go, please Pokemon Go away. And they've had it with Pokemon Go. And up until yesterday, Pokemon Go was not in Rio. So you heard on social media all the gripes from the athletes that they got there early and they can't play Pokemon Go. Hashtag first world problems. Anyway, I'm just saying, there's adverse poverty in Brazil and Rio de Janeiro. That's the biggest thing. You couldn't get there early and try to help folks. You want to play Pokemon Go. But I digress. So Pokemon Go is now not only in Rio, it's also in all of most of South America. So they're in Central and South America. So you can now play Pokemon Go in Central and South America. Now, this was not just due to the griping of the Olympic athletes. It probably had a lot more to do with the mayor of Rio getting on Facebook earlier in July to ask Nintendo to please bring the game to the city before the opening of the games. And it seems to have actually worked, but this also could be a larger thing on the part of Nintendo and Niantic to release it on the eve of one of the biggest events ever, so it coincides.
Okay.
It could have been strategic as well. So like, all right, there's a big event going on. This is when we're going to release Pokemon Go. So it could have been partially the pleading of the mayor of Rio and probably mostly marketing tactic on Nintendo Niantic's part.
All right then. All right. So Pokemon Go Rio. Okay, that's a hashtag, isn't it? That's a hashtag waiting waiting to happen. That's a hashtag just waiting to be birthed right there. Okay, so speaking of Facebook, for those of you who logged into Facebook between the 1st and the 5th, that would be today, you may have noticed like a Facebook an Olympic banner. Now, some of us probably just scrolled right by that thing and didn't think anything about it. But if you were in the inquisitive type, you may have clicked on it. And if you did click on it, it took you to a whole dedicated page of just Olympic coverage, from videos to posts. So unfortunately, though, if you want to go back and try to find it, I don't know what to tell you. Because it's almost as if you didn't click on it when you had the opportunity, there's no URL that I can provide at this point. And they were only doing it from the 1st to the 5th anyway. So I don't.
The real show is during the games. At this point, that ship has sailed.
Yeah. So you live your life. Okay. So, but here's okay. So here's something else that's interesting that Facebook is doing. The masks. You can put if you want the USA thing over your face, like people do at the football games. You paint your face with stuff. Those will be made available to you. You call them overlays. There'll be what they call it, a country overlay.
Yes, yeah. But I've never. That seems so unique and so interesting. I've never heard of that. Excuse me. Sorry.
You got jokes.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I guess if you can't buy them, make your own.
That's it. That is the great Facebook way, ain't it? Okay. So the other thing now, as far as live streaming, we already know 9 times out of 10, NBC right now has already brokered deals with Facebook Live. They've already brokered some deals with Snapchat. So probably between the official Olympic page on Facebook and maybe NBC, you will get some great live streamed content. So that's pretty, and wouldn't surprise me too, as we're going deeper into the competition. There might be some other surprises and some other things popping off. But as of right now, you could probably get the we call them the flags across your face just to show your support. And if indeed they bring that special page back and somehow provide a URL for it, cool. But here's something else to think about too. Now, for those of you, and this literally just popped into my mind. There's a big old Like, yeah. So for those of you who know about the Facebook map, the Facebook Live map, and you go to, what's the URL? It's facebook.com
/ live map.
Okay. And then the other way you can gain access to it, which is what I did yesterday, is you go to your home page, you go over to where it says apps, and I think it says live. You click that, and it will take you to the map of Facebook Live. And then from there, you can literally click on all the live streams literally happening on Facebook from the Olympics. You kind of have to pick and choose because you don't know who will be broadcasting from the Olympics and who's broadcasting from an Olympic pool somewhere in Texas.
You don't want the Texas stream.
You don't want the Texas stream. No.
No,
But
Texas.
yeah, but here's the thing too. Now the Facebook Live map is only, to my knowledge, is only accessible through your computer. They have not made the Facebook Live map accessible through mobile phone yet. Am I wrong with that?
Well, here's the thing. I was able to access the Facebook Live map on my iPad. I have not tried it on my phone.
Okay.
But I did access it on my iPad.
Okay.
So it may be optimized for iOS and not Android. I haven't tried that yet.
Okay. Well, at least you know if you're on your desktop, you know, or your tablet, you know that you can go to that Facebook Live map and probably see some great stuff from Rio. Some of it may or may not be Olympic content.
As well as okay, but as well as, you know, in terms of, since you're talking about live streaming, Periscope is also you'll be able to do that. I don't know if they're using the hashtag Rio 2016, probably so, and you'll be able to pull up. They aggregate all of that content now. You'll be able to pull up streams from Rio on Periscope as well.
All right. Well, not to mention, that the Periscope map, now that they've got the highlights, because they just launched that last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So you'll be able to see a little trailer, technically, of the various streams.
Yes. And that can help you determine also if you want to watch that particular stream. Also, if you want to follow that particular person.
True that.
Because they have the highlights of their past streams. And now that things stay open and are automatically saved unless you shut off the option in your settings, you have a whole library of things you can go through. So Periscope was quite smart with the highlights.
Now, we segue from Periscope to its daddy, which is Twitter. Now, Twitter is kind of, was I wrong? Was I wrong for saying it that way?
You were.
Well, I mean,
you were a tiny bit wrong, but I digress.
But Twitter owns it, doesn't it? I mean, Twitter owns.
They do.
Well,
but there's a connotation with the word daddy so I'm just gonna. No, don't look side to side. You know what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, you know what, Alice Fuller? This is why we love you. Make it plain, make it plain.
Okay, all right. So, emojis. Here's the fun part. Twitter has fun stuff. Fun stuff. First, we got emojis. Now, if you know what your country's 3-letter code is, now for us, it's pretty simple. US and A. But if you're Australia, I suspect it's AUS, England, ENG. You can. I don't. You know what? I never did find a listing of that, but
yeah, and I'm guessing that you would probably use like the country. They probably did it by the country code, and not like China would be. I don't think it's CHI. It's China is, what is it?
CHA. Okay. All right. So as you're watching, you can see that because technically, as they're doing the medals, as they're doing the competitions, they're going to use those 3-letter codes, so you can find them at least that way. But we have not found a dedicated list online to help you out. But it might be Googleable, so knock that out.
Ooh, that's a new word.
Okay. Googleable. Yeah, I've been using that for a couple of years now, and I don't. Okay, and I haven't trademarked it, so I don't think I'm the first to use it. So nonetheless, that's the main reason why I haven't
used it the best. What?
Yeah. So your emojis, when you do hashtag and that 3-letter code, you will get a nice, cute little emoji that's going to be I'm gonna say your company flag, your country flag. So there's going to be a lot of emojis just floating around for the next couple of weeks. So that's kind of cute. Because if nothing else, you'll be tweeting just to get that little emoji to pop up in your stream.
So be for sure when you see my tweets, you will see the Nigerian flag next to everything that I do. Probably. I ate cake, Nigerian flag. I'm going walking, Nigerian flag. You're gonna see that.
This ain't got nothing to do with the Olympics. Nigerian flag.
Nigerian flag, exactly.
So right now, you can also get that there's 207 emojis, team emojis. That's a lot. That's a lot.
That is a lot. A lot of teams participating. A lot of countries.
And then you've got 50 others, which they didn't say exactly what they would be. That'll be triggered when you use the two official hashtags. Hashtag RIO 2016 and hashtag Olympics. So those are the two main ones. Now, what will happen when you use those? I don't exactly know. As far as what emoji they'll create specifically just for those two hashtags, but there you have it. Something will happen. You just use them and see what happens. Then, Twitter moments. Twitter moments. If y'all are really hip with Twitter, Twitter's doing a lot of great things in aggregating and curating content from the users. So there will be an Olympics 2016 Twitter moments on your phone. You can access that, of course, through your phone, and I think you can access moments through your desktop too. I do believe you can.
You should be able to.
Okay. Yeah, you can. So keeping that in mind, you have moments that you can follow, which are country specific. So what you can do is say you'll be following the Nigerian moments. It appears.
I shall. I'll be following them so closely.
I'm not playing with you in that accent, though.
Accent. What's wrong with my voice? You think I have accents?
Don't email me, people. Don't email me. Don't.
Instead, you can email me. Send all of your queries to me.
That's on her. That's totally on her. So that's pretty much the layout of the land as far as social media and the Olympics. Now, like I said, we kind of missed. I don't know if evidently it appears LinkedIn is like, we got other stuff. We're running businesses over here. Okay, we don't got time for that. Maybe.
Okay. I have, if I can interrupt you for just a moment.
Go ahead.
Don John asked if the emojis that are going to be created are going to be the same as what's already on your keyboard. So is there going to be something different about them?
You know what? That's a very good question. And I don't really know. I'd forgotten about you already have the flags. But maybe those flags will look slightly different. Maybe.
It could be. And I don't think that we have every country's flag, do we?
In the emoji?
In the emojis?
And the keyboard? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Because 207 of them?
I don't think there are 207.
No.
So that's probably the thing. Since you're keyboard, luckily enough, there are a lot of, of course, most European countries are reflected in the keyboard, many countries, but there are other countries that have cropped up and things that they don't have. For example, I don't think the flag for South Sudan is in the emoji keyboard. So that is probably the impetus to use the country code together with the hashtag. Also, Ray Renati, hey, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Ray.
Says,
Hey, Ray.
Have the Djibouti flag just because I like saying Djibouti.
Did he say?
He said
I'm using the Djibouti because I like what?
Because he likes saying Djibouti.
Djibouti.
Yes. So yes, that I'm going to be looking for your tweets, Ray. I couldn't between Ray and Donovan this morning on Anchor. I couldn't focus. So
okay, so. My bet is, here's where I'm going to be watching most of my Olympic stuff. Twitter and YouTube. And probably a little bit of Facebook too. But my go-to is always for video. It's always YouTube. For my hashtags and what's popping in real time, Twitter. Those are my two favorites. Now, if y'all want to do Facebook, most people, 9 times out of 10 will probably do some Facebook stuff. That's a given. I'm curious to see what Snapchat is going to do, what kind of content they're going to create. I probably will scroll through some Periscopes too, especially of some celebrities that may be there. Because, there's always going to be somebody going to some places they need not. There's going to be there are going to be parties and different events, and so you can feel like you're actually there, live vicariously through these people on Periscope. So there you have it. So moving on, because beyond the Olympics, there are other things happening in the world.
Absolutely. One last thing, Ray Ronati says that he wants to be able to figure out how to find water polo, triathlon, and other sports that they don't put on TV. So yeah, you're absolutely right. They don't necessarily televise all of the events, because there are events that they do the popular ones. Of course, they have the track and field is always very popular.
Ooh, that's my fave.
Gymnastics. Yeah, no, I managed my high school track team, so I absolutely love track.
No, it's just so visual.
Yes, it is. That's very visual. I'm sure the audience is catching on. They catch the drift of what visuals. But no, I'm really into the track and field, really into the gymnastics especially. The swimming is going to be a big thing. But you're right, there are some other sports that are not really shown. And that is probably where there would be a good opportunity for social media to be an extension of that. So as we find out info, because it's 2 weeks, the Olympics?
Thereabouts, yeah.
It's about 2 weeks. So we'll be able to let you all know about any updates we find in terms of how to find some of these off the beaten path sports. So thanks, Ray, for bringing that up.
And Ray, too, remember, even though it may not be broadcast, I dare say these networks were probably still recorded and posted on YouTube. So it's probably still very searchable. But, the broadcast channels, like you said, they want to do what they think people want to see most. But I dare say you can probably go on YouTube and find some great races or some great competitions there that may not get much shine.
Absolutely. There you go.
All right. So. Moving on, because there are other things happening in the world besides.
So I can't wait for one that we're going to talk about.
Okay, so let's go ahead and speaking of Instagram. We forgot to mention Instagram with their Olympic coverage. Olympic coverage for Instagram includes a slow motion video of highlights from the individual days. So once again, taking user-generated content seemingly, because then too, they got Facebook money. They may have sent some people out just to get stuff specifically for Instagram. But, when we're creating a lot of it, we'll just wait for them to create it. We'll just wait for everybody else to create it, and we'll just aggregate it and then call it fresh content. So for Instagram, dare say you can follow the hashtags or the official hashtags. That's pretty much a given. At this point, there has not been any major announcement about anything unique to the Olympics outside of these slow motion videos with the highlights of what happened throughout the day. But that's a good way to. You got something, Tachi, to say about that?
Not so much.
All right, but moving right along. Your face was saying something, though. Your face was like,
That's just my face. No, you know what it was? I'm like, meh. In terms of the slow motion highlights.
Yeah, it doesn't move me either. Doesn't really move me. But, it's still early. They may, Facebook is their daddy. So, speaking of which.
Oh, and Donovan said, talked about in terms of, the highlights and things. I'm sure InstaSnap will have it as well.
See, everybody wants to call it InstaSnap, Snapagram, Can we just call it what it is?
No, but there really is an InstaSnap.
Oh, wait a minute. There is an InstaSnap. Is it an app? Is it an app?
An app called InstaSnap. Yes.
I was well, that leads us right into the next thing, talking about Instagram and Snapchat. And so many people were calling it the wrong thing. InstaSnap was one for those people who are not, knowledgeable of there's already an InstaSnap app. Snapagram. There was so many names were coming up for this new Instagram Snapchat wannabe tool called Instagram Stories. Now, for me, I'm not overly moved by it. Snapchat for me is still something I stay conversant about, but most of my clients are not on Snapchat as of yet. So I don't think this is going to make people, just in droves come away from Snapchat over to Instagram. Don't see that happening at all. And primarily I don't see that happening because it doesn't have everything that Snapchat has. You still can't do your lenses. You can do some writing over stuff. I mean, that's cute. But everything that you can do in Snapchat, you cannot do in Instagram Stories.
Well, and you're absolutely right. I think that impetus for them to really do this was because use of Instagram is slightly down. Mm-hmm. And they found that people are not posting as much as they used to. And so in that, they're trying to find all sorts of ways to, up the game. And what do? You look to people who are doing things well and doing things the way you would like for things to go for you, and you copy them. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, if you still believe that imitation is the greatest form of flattery, you go right ahead. But I dare say somebody was in an office like, what the?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that they were trying to flatter them in terms of imitation. It's about money here.
All about the cheddar.
So I bet that somebody from FaceTube or whatever was crouched up.
She said face. Did you just say FaceTube?
FaceTube, U-Book. I don't know.
U-Book.
Crouched up underneath the table that they were like listening.
Oh, that's interesting. So we'll see. I mean, they just launched it literally Tuesday?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm seeing when you fire up your Instagram app, you see all the people that you follow who are using the stories right at the top. So you could get lost in that easily before you even get to your usual flow of images. So we'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah, especially if they can figure. I think the biggest thing from a business standpoint, though, is the fact that you can take elements of those stories and pull them apart, pull it apart, separate it from the entire story as a unique piece of content, and then use it on Facebook and use it other places. Now that little tip right there is kind of cool. I give them that. That's kind of hot. But at the end of the day, we'll see. It's still a wait and see how this is going to evolve.
We shall see, grasshopper, we shall see.
Oh, yes. Now, moving on to my next story, which is, I know we're LinkedIn. For those of you who are avid LinkedIn users, you may have noticed videos popping up on your profile from those influencers that you happen to follow. At long last, LinkedIn, you are so late to the party.
You're so slow.
So late to the party with video. It's kind of it's almost embarrassing.
This is LinkedIn is the person that the party that everybody else showed up at 9:00. They show up at 1 and are like, where did everybody go? That's what this is like for LinkedIn.
Yeah. But then too, I kind of get it too, to a certain degree,
okay.
Because the culture of LinkedIn. we already know people are beginning to use LinkedIn more like they use Facebook. They want to announce their marriages. They want to announce the baby. They want to announce the vacation. And all this stuff, I do too, but all this personal stuff is beginning to filter more into Facebook, into LinkedIn posts. So I typically click that little arrow and I hide it from my timeline. But not only are people beginning to see more and more and feel more comfortable on LinkedIn, I dare say, if LinkedIn had opened up LinkedIn Record to everybody, can you imagine how abused that would be? I told you about the girl who came on LinkedIn selling shea butter.
That was selling shea butter
in a group
at the back of the trunk of her car.
So, if we've got people hawking shea butter on LinkedIn, you give that individual an opportunity to do video. Yes. So you already know.
In my head, I'm like playing what that video would look like.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl such and such, and I got shea butter here, 50% off. I
got that ash. I got that ash. I got that ash.
What? Oh, what did you say yesterday? That you could just slide.
I got that bomb hair oil. I got that bomb hair oil, girl. Come on.
Edges. All you need to do, and they all do like this. Oh, okay, I can't. I'm going to stop because...
You don't have any more edges. You killed that 20 years ago, so stop playing.
And the shea butter's not going to help.
No, all that's going to do is make you look... Just highlight the fact that you got reflectors. From here to here is all reflectors. Because there's no hair there. There's no hair there.
Like so thick back here.
So, yes. So when the sun hits it, it just becomes a reflector. That's a reflector. There's no hair here. There's no hair here. So... Nonetheless, that is why LinkedIn was like, you know what? We cannot release the tool of video quite yet to everybody because we're afraid y'all gonna mess this up. I think that's the main reason we're giving it to about 500 influencers who we trust will use the 30-second video that we are allotting them for good and not for some foolishness.
But wouldn't you think, okay, just playing the advocate on the other side here, wouldn't you think that because, and I get it, there are already people who cut up on LinkedIn, but because of the business nature of LinkedIn, wouldn't you think that people would be using it for business purposes? Now, as to whether or not this young lady used it in an appropriate sense, in the appropriate setting, that's not questioned. But for the appropriate setting business-wise, I think it could be very helpful because guess what? There are an awful lot of business owners, an awful lot of people that are looking to recruit that are not influencers. So I don't know about for a platform like LinkedIn, unless they're just solely testing it to see how effective it would be, and they're gathering data on that. But to limit it to influencer, which, by the way, on LinkedIn, it's not like I follow anybody that's an influencer because for me, LinkedIn is a tool that is professional to make connections with people I actually know or people in the same field. So why am I looking for an influencer on LinkedIn? That's just me, though.
Well, I think if they were to release it to everybody,
okay,
to start, make it a part of the premium. Now that might piss some people. That might piss some people off too. But if you're paying for it, you just might use it for the purposes we are giving it to you for. So that's my only concern. If they open that up to everybody, and not to mention LinkedIn. Now here's the other question: not knowing how many staff people LinkedIn really has across the world. Who's going to sit there and go through those videos and say, Miss Shea Butter, you got to go. Okay, Mr. Trump supporter, You talking out, we don't mind you supporting Trump if that's who you want to vote for, but you talking out the side of your neck real crazy about immigrants and this and that and the other and Muslims. You got to go, because who is going to sit there and go through all of that content that I dare say would be a bum rush?
You mean in a group or on LinkedIn?
On LinkedIn, and on LinkedIn in general, because if you open it up to your profile,
you're only going to see that from the people that you follow. So, LinkedIn works unless they do some sort of live map with videos, and I don't think that's the intent.
No.
I don't think that's the intent. So I think it's manageable, but I do like your concept of having that as part of the subscription-based service. So that there you should. I mean, really, I don't pay for it because I'm like, well, what are you going to offer me that is above and beyond the basic version? Something like that might make somebody, all right, well, I might try it because video is the big thing.
Well, the thing is too, even right now, you could record a video on YouTube, put the link on LinkedIn, and if you want to have a somewhat pseudo LinkedIn record experience, you can still do it. You can still do it without being an influencer. It's just some people, when they do their LinkedIn profile, they shy away from video. It's like, that's right. You're doing a bit much. I don't want to do that. I just want to get my resume up here, my experience and whatever. But as we are more accustomed to seeing video on other platforms, even I tell students the same thing. How are you going to stand out amongst everybody else? There's nothing wrong with doing a nice little video that introduces yourself, says the kind of job you want or the kind of experience you want. They're not expecting that. And not to mention, they can cut down on the phone interview, quite possibly, and some other things, because they can see you. So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
It will be interesting. It will be.
All right. So now I'm trying to think what do I want to go to next? What do I want to go to next? Because we got the I'm trying not to rush to this dating app that we really want to talk about, because
I know we got started late.
And we got started late, yeah. So it's like you the pastor went too long. It's like, Pastor, we're tired now. Exactly. You could have ended this service. We could have had the benediction by now and been at churches eating. Churches. Okay, Tachi, just let it go. Let it go. Just because you let it go. I don't go to churches either, but nonetheless,
letting it go.
Yes, let it go. So, Twitter, the new dashboard. I've been using it. Twitter announced a whole new dashboard, kind of like an analytic dashboard. For those of you that are using maybe something like Hootsuite or using like Social Oomph and some of these other tools that allow you to post to different platforms as well as schedule your tweets, Twitter has launched this thing called Twitter Dashboard. I was using it last night on the phone. It is a mobile app. It is not available yet to Android, but if you're on an iPhone, all you do is just go to the Apple Store and do the search for the Twitter Dashboard. Now, the great thing about this dashboard is, for those of you who are not using something like a Hootsuite or some other tool, as a business, when you want to see how well your tweets are doing, it's right there for you. Really easy to understand for those of you who have to do some sort of report on, what your Twitter campaign is doing. Very, very easy to understand, very easy to see. So I think this is one way Twitter is listening to what people are saying about it's a little too complicated. Make it simpler so that we can use it, so that we can understand it, make it more intuitive.
Yeah.
And I used it last night to schedule 4 tweets. You can do video, just like you can do images, everything that you can do via twitter.com. And you can schedule your tweets through the dashboard. Now, I don't say that means I'm just going to drop my Hootsuite. That's not about to happen. However, it is a great compliment to my Twitter app. Just a good compliment.
Okay, it'll be something I'll have to try out.
Very easy to use, very easy to navigate. And then we've got the iOS 10 gender equality emojis coming.
Yes.
Now that's exciting, because now we can have a black female construction worker, black female or Hispanic or maybe Asian, whatever your profession may be or whatever you desire your profession to be. At long last, it's not just one, and you have to just stick with what they've given you. Now we've got options. It's always beautiful to have options. It's a beautiful thing to have options. What do you want to say, Tachi?
No, it is beautiful to have options. I'm just, Don John is jumping the gun, and I'm telling you, just wait, bruh, it's coming.
Oh, he wants to talk about this dating app.
He does, and so I'm like, just hold on, bruh, hold on. It's coming, because we have.
Okay, so let me quickly get through this. Okay, so these emojis, there's about 100 of them. And they'll launch this fall. So fall is basically next month, depending on who you ask. Exactly. So they say the emojis were created to better represent men and women in the workforce, and they're a collaboration with the Unicode Consortium. Those are the individuals who make them, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
That's the organization, that's in charge of adding emojis. And so there's no set date yet, so you just have to hang tight. It says the new emojis will include updates to existing ones, as well as never before seen emojis. You can choose between the female and the male athletes and professionals, just like you can on future versions of Android.
Note future.
Yeah, and there's also
clapping with white hands on Android. I'm just saying. Here's the thing, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I am. The whole thing is, do they want accolades for what the hell should have happened in the first place? I'm not going to clap for you for what you should have been doing, because guess what? These professions exist for both men and women of all ethnicities. You, tech field, have not been recognizing that this is the case. There are several black policewomen. There are construction workers of all ethnicities that are female. So you just have not been paying attention to what's been happening in society. And now, all of a sudden, because you just recognized this 2 seconds ago, you want me to clap. I won't. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. At the time, change. You go.
Or maybe they were just in the mindset of they're used to adapting. Because
certain ways.
We're just going to put it out there, and we're going to put out what we're most comfortable with and what we think people want the most, and that basically looks like us, feels like us, and everybody else can just adapt.
That's why I'm saying in certain things they're quick to adapt in terms of technology, but in terms of how people use the technology and who uses the technology and what the technology reflects, they're not quick to adapt. They adapt to what they want to adapt to. Exactly.
So I think we're now ready for this conversation about this new dating app.
Wait, I need a mint for this one.
So the Donovan, I hope you're sitting down for this. There is a new app called Smoocher, spelled SMOOCHR. If you don't look like that icon with the praying hands right about now. So
shut up, Donovan. Donovan said finally. Be quiet.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Nothing wrong with an app called Smoocher especially a dating app. Here's where we fundamentally have a problem. When you say, here is the perfect dating app where you can choose your mate by complexion.
I'm sorry, could you say this again? You can choose your mate by how?
Complexion and hair type, moral values, and some other things. Now, mind you, if you were to go to Smoocher on the App Store, there is a picture of a brown, dark-skinned man, black guy, and there is a black female who is light-skinned with a blonde natural. So right from the start, the imagery is a bit like, what the hell is is this?
I think you need to preface this with, this is targeted towards
us,
towards African American, well, black people.
Yes.
This app is targeted towards black people.
Targeted toward black people, but for those who are interested in just dating, black men and or women, there you have it. Yeah. Okay, so we searched, we Googled, we did some things, we tried to find a name attached to this app. As of yet, there has not been a major press release. There has not been any major report that will allow us to put a name and a face behind this app, because I think they know. You're going to get cussed out.
You think they know?
Oh, you're going to get cussed out. Now, for those who say, what's wrong with having a type? There's a type of female I like. There's a don't get on swole yet. I just see you swelling. I see you swelling like popcorn. It's just just swelling. Just. Now, for those who say, what's wrong with having a type? I like this about the people I date. I like this. I don't like this about the people I date. See, yes, everybody can have a type, but the problem is, especially within our culture, and when you look at how dark and light is so pitted against each other, this app is not helping the situation at all. At all. I would never, ever, ever knowingly date a guy who sought me out simply because I passed the paper bag test. You're not the dude for me. You're really not. But that's me. That's me. There are other people out there who that's their preference. And can I fault them for having a preference? Go ahead, Tachi. Go ahead and pop. Go ahead and pop. Go ahead.
So, Don John says it's best. This is colorism.
Pretty much.
If you were so sure, here's my thing. When
oh, gracious.
Frozen? Okay, no, you froze for a minute.
You're back. You're back.
Okay,
We're back.
I'm back. So, you look at a lot of these other dating apps, you are able to pinpoint an entity, a company, and faces behind this app. They come out and speak about the app, the history of the app, why this app exists, how it's different from other apps. Like you said, we have not been able to pinpoint who is responsible for this abomination of a piece of technology. This paper-thin excuse to discriminate. That's all it is, really. And like you said, you were saying, well, what's wrong with having a type? I'll tell you what's wrong with having a type. When it's not a type that is based solely on character, when it's not a type that is based solely on things that you have made, the decisions you have made on your own. When it's rooted in what society tells you is acceptable and is best, that's exactly what's wrong. This is a psychological experiment you're trying to pull on us with this app. This is the Tuskegee Dam psychological.
She went there.
I went there. I absolutely went there. And I have to say, how dare you? How dare you? There are already, as you said, Alice, there are already enough problems. Is already enough division without an entity. And we don't know, we can't say for sure who it was that did this and what their affiliation or, background is. But I do know, whoever it is, how dare you? There are enough problems without adding this to the fire. And if you talk to some people, I'm quite sure they'll talk about some conspiracy type stuff, but that's a whole different thing altogether. When you told me, when I heard about this, and then we talked about it, I was just, I don't think, because I wasn't like I was super angry. I was just disappointed that 2016, that the only way you could find to make money is off of the backs of Black people that have self-image issues and self-hate issues. In the words of Huggy Lowdown, what's the name of this app?
Smoocher.
You are the Bama of the week. It's despicable. I don't know any other way to say it except that this is despicable. I can agree with people like wanting to choose people based on moral affiliation. I could see somebody who's an atheist not wanting to be with somebody.
You got to be equally yoked. You got to be equally yoked.
Absolutely. Get that. I can see somebody who, has several degrees, may not necessarily want to be with someone who has not finished with 8th grade. That's not a judgment. That's just being equally yoked. However, when it comes to things that are beyond control, when it comes to things in terms of skin shade, how dare you denigrate anybody, whether it's light, in between, or dark? How dare you? And guess what? If you have that preference, because we all know these people exist, and I'm not going to be naive about it, don't open your mouth to say it because you look stupid.
I had a guy actually do that, though, and on a first date.
And tell him I said he looked stupid.
We don't have any contact with each other now. That was eons ago, but he told me flat out, I liked you because you were light skinned. Check, please.
How stupid is that?
Quickly. Because this conversation, this whole situation needs to shut down quick, fast, and in a hurry. Everything.
We have to spend way too much time educating the school. So,
yeah, no. So that is what's happening on the social media scene. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us throughout the technical difficulties. See, here's the thing about that. When you're doing something and doing something good, a good way to test whether you're doing it is whether stuff pops up to try to get you off your game. That's how I look at it. That's exactly how I look at it. Mm-hmm. So today we had some technical issues, but that's okay. We got through it. We thank each and every one of you for sticking with us through it. So be sure we'll be back here, same time, same place. Maybe some new software.
You heard that?
Next week. But please take the video, share it, tell some folks about it so that we can get more people involved in the conversation. Thank you, everybody who came through. Big ups to Ray, big ups to Donovan, Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly.
Rowana, our soror, Rowana.
Hey, Rowana. Lisa. Hey, Lisa. I know Lisa. And am I missing some other folks?
Kimberly. And there's a bunch of people probably out there in Facebook Live land.
Yeah, who are not commenting, who are just lurking, because my audience is a bunch of lurkers. Yeah. I'm not dissing y'all, but sometimes could you just show some love in a digital sense? That would be great. Thank you. Any last parting words for you, Tachi?
Just that this was great, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Olympics evolves and develops on social media, because I think this is really going to set the stage for other big events to come. Arguably, the Olympics is one of the biggest events that happens every 4 years, arguably at all. So it'll be interesting to see what social media does with this, what lessons they learn from what didn't go well, and how they adapt.
Yeah, and the one thing we didn't talk about, but we probably should, just quickly. Now, for those companies and organizations who are supporting those athletes that are there, there's this thing called Rule 40. Just Google it, Rule 40. If you are a small business or a brand and you have an athlete that you have been supporting for years and helped get them to the Olympics, thanks to Rule 40, you can't say nothing about it. Only the official sponsors of the Olympics can actually use the hashtags. There are so many rules, it's ridiculous. They literally have silenced companies and people who have basically, you wouldn't even have athletes if my company, my dry cleaning company or whatever, wasn't cleaning those outfits.
Exactly.
So just Google Rule 40, and it's creating a little bit of controversy to fit just for those businesses who want to support their athletes through social media, but have been blocked every which way in their wording. You can't use images. You can't even use words like Olympic, swimming, nothing. It's that in and of itself is kind of like, has that always been the case? Has that always, or is that something new? Now, I figured there might, you got the sponsors and then you got some other, sponsors. But it's interesting to me how the big names that are sponsoring the Olympics, they can get all the shine. But you've got the smaller businesses who've been with these athletes for years, year after year after year, even before they got to the Olympics. And now they can't even say that we're supporting that athlete.
It's almost like a gag order.
It is pretty much a gag order.
It's going to be interesting to see how they get around that. Like, woohoo, so happy to be watching this sport in a square hole filled with water that people basically dance around in. I'm waiting for the creative ways of getting around that rule, but I'm pretty sure there are going to be some revisions after this.
Okay, so that's it. We're going to fade to black. No pun intended. Well, just a little pun. Just a little pun intended. We're going to fade to black. Roll credits. Again, thank you everybody for sticking with us through the technical difficulties. It's Friday. The weekend is officially here. Have a great weekend.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.